What's up, Ginger Snaps? Today we're going to be talking about supplementation and shipping, how to and how we do it. So stay tuned. This is Maverick. He's a little bit bigger now and we're going to have a lot of fun in today's video. Hopefully it's knowledgeable and gets you all the information that you guys need and gets your mind out of the box, because that's what this reptile hobby is. It's kind of like a box sometimes, and you need to try new things and experiment, because that's the only way we're going to make progress. Thank you guys and stay tuned. So right here you have a chiropac. This actually, if you can see, it's turning into a solid. It changes its state depending on the temperature. So right now it's a little bit cold in my house. It's about 71 degrees. So right now it's getting a little smooshy. It's turning from a liquid to a solid. And what that does, especially when you're using it with your insulated shipping, it's gonna control the temperatures. You're not gonna have drastic swings in temperatures, and drastic swings kill animals. So that's what we're trying to get rid of. And although we ship overnight priority, so it comes by 10:30 in the morning to your hub, I recommend only shipping hub to hub. Although we do take those precautions and we pay big buckos to ship these animals, it's still, there's things that you can level up, and pretty much I don't ship without using a chiropac at all. So there's no reason you guys shouldn't be able to as well. They're reusable, which is cool. So save them when you get them in, because they're not the cheapest. Next up, you have heat packs. So when it gets a little cold, especially going into winter, you want to look for the 72-hour. I live in California, so this is about what I need, and I always use them. What is that? Adjacent? I don't know. What's like a good Batman and Robin? They go best together, you know? If Batman's in trouble, chiropac saves him. Next up, we have some deli cups we'll talk about later, but let's get straight into supplementation, because that's important even before the animals leave and go to your doorstep for you to enjoy and love. All right, first up, let's go ahead and tackle something new that we're trying out. I've used algae and spirulina in the past in the fish industry. I used to supply a bunch of stores in Southern California, but they have a lot of great vitamins A, B, C, and E, and that's gonna be very crucial for color boosting, and also just vitamins that you're not really getting when you're just dosing calcium and multivitamin that doesn't have stuff like that. So trying this out, I'll let you know how it works. It's doing amazing. I'll show you guys our bee pollen separately from all of this, but this is gonna be your tried and true stuff that's been around for years, like Sticky Tongue Farms. I've been using that since around like 2002. From my chameleons to leopard geckos to everything. This one is the indoor one, so obviously it's going to contain D3. And for those of you not familiar, vitamin D3 is necessary for nocturnal animals, crucipelar animals, to metabolize calcium. So kind of the diurnal animals, they don't need D3. So stuff like that, outdoor, you'll see no vitamin D3, no vitamin D3, pure calcium, right? But for the animals that need that D3, there is a rumor going around that they can overdose on D3, but for that to happen, they would actually have to impact themselves with the amount of calcium plus vitamin D3 that you would give them. So inevitably, it's impossible. Let's tackle this right here. This is vitamin A. This is very overlooked in the hobby, and this stuff looks kind of cool too. It's like a bluish green, but this is necessary for things like when you run into animals hatching without eyelids and stuff like that. That's where you're gonna see this stuff. Vitamin A, make sure it covers that. And also we have vitamin A and the spirulina, so I'm excited to try that out. Right here, you're gonna have mineral, tried and true. This is something I recommend to everybody because it's calcium with D3. I hear that it doesn't stick well, but honestly, I have no issues with it whatsoever. Look at all these crude ingredients too. just gonna let you guys read it because I'm reading too much already. Anyway, that's awesome. Then you have the outdoor version without D3. So for my iguanas that I keep outside, the tegus where they have sunlight, you really don't even need to dose calcium at that point if they're getting adequate sunlight. Right here, you're gonna have Reptile Calcium with D3. This is just a big tub of it, and little hack, just poke little holes in the top and it's a big old shaker. Grub pie. Grub pie is basically like a milk supplementation. You can use this powder and mix it with water. It becomes more of like a gelatin, and you can feed that with tongs, whatever. All the animals love it. And next up, what are we gonna talk about? Bee pollen. So to understand first why bee pollen is so amazing, you first have to understand what bees do. Bees go around and pollinate all this vegetation, all this wildlife, flowers, and bring all this pollen everywhere, right? They are the reason why everything goes so fluidly, in my opinion. And what I do is I buy these granules, right? I crush them down into a fine powder, and honestly, I don't know since when, but Rainbow Mealworms. If you haven't checked them out, you probably should. They have some amazing stuff, some amazing feeders, but they've had this stuff since the early 2000s, and they would have like little cups of it. You order it for your bearded dragons and stuff like that, throw it in their salad, and nobody really kind of looked into it too much. As far as like I heard, I didn't really understand the power of bee pollen when I initially started using it. 2019, I started using it for my Umbronia species, and that just helps with natural coloration, and it not only helps with that, but it's an appetite stimulant. It helps them with growth. My animals are growing at much faster rates and becoming much larger without being obese or overweight, or that's the same thing, or just there's no negative connotations to using bee pollen so far. Obviously, it's been only 3 years. It's not enough for a scientific evaluation, and honestly, I'm no scientist. Don't know. But you take this granules, you crush it down to a fine powder. It doesn't coat well with your insects, so I recommend using it with your calcium. Mix it together, it'll coat very well. And let me know what you guys think of bee pollen, because stuff like that, when we stop innovating and we get comfortable, I don't know, there's so much that has been undiscovered. Like, people are still scared of reptiles, to be honest. So we need to get out of the taboo of, oh, that's the right way to do this, and this is the only way. But the only way that works is if you're in The Mandalorian and this is the way. But if you're not, get out of that stigma, right? We need to be able to experiment, and if I didn't, I wouldn't have had those benefits. And I'm not the only one. Like, if you're using bee pollen and it's helped you, I want you to comment down below so people can actually, I don't know, not think I'm off my rocker. But this stuff's amazing. Check it out, and let's get into shipping, guys. I think that's about it. These are some of the bowls that we're designing. My little brother is a mechanical engineer, and he's a mad scientist. So some bowls, we got some water, and then you have a spot for your supplementation. Boom. If you don't know, most leopard geckos will self-regulate. So if you put some calcium in there with D3,
good soup.
I just wanted to show you guys some of these results too. This is an Umbronia Graminia. This is an endangered species from the Mexican cloud forest. And honestly, to get them this green at this age, this animal is only 5.5 months old and remarkably green and chunky. And honestly, I wouldn't have been able to do it without bee pollen, the supplementation, staying on top of everything. Keeping Umbronia is really time consuming, and honestly, like, they deserve the best. This is an endangered species. It's not really taken lightly, especially in my care. This stuff really, I try my best, you know? But I mean, it speaks for itself. And when we're talking about leopard geckos and species, I use this I use that shit on everything. That grandma with the hot sauce? Yeah, literally I use it on all of my species that I work with, and it works with everybody. The only thing I really haven't tried it out with, I would say, is like tarantulas and inverts, which obviously they probably love them too, because you can use this to gut load your insects as well. Just throw in the granules. It helps with not only the vibrancy young, but leopard geckos, my females don't really dole out after breeding. It's crazy. And those that did, give them some bee pollen. And I promise you that you're gonna see a little something, you know? It's not gonna be like night and day. It's just that little push, you know? And let's see what else is out there, you know? Come on, we gotta push for better in the community, in keeping, in everything. And honestly, I want my kids to be able to enjoy all of this, so I want to make sure we're doing it right. Look at this beautiful one. Sorry, I'm just so obsessed. Let's get into some shipping, guys. I know, I promise we'll get to the shipping, but look, check this out. This girl is going to go on her 3rd season this year. Breeding. Chunky, already back to weight. My animals are already starting to ovulate. The barometric pressure is a little bit different, especially with global warming, so you're gonna see your animals ovulating a little early. This animal is over 2 years old. This is hella orange. Father to a lot of our clowns and awesome projects this year. Just incredible lineage. Look at this boy, and burnt red too. Bee pollen does wonders, guys, I'm telling you. And try some of this other stuff. If you haven't experimented, like, you're missing out. What's the worst that can happen? Your animal doesn't like it. We're getting out some orders today. We're sending off some amazing stuff. I just can't show you all of it because it has a bunch of addresses on it, but we're sending out a bunch of stickers. Everybody's getting some merch. We're finally getting around to shipping the rest of the contestants from the giveaway to their homes. So it's gonna be awesome. I'll show you all the cool bits, and thank you guys so much for the tremendous support. And I don't know, you guys are inspiring. Just believing in me. I don't think I'm anybody, you know. So thank you guys. I truly, really appreciate it. So first box is going to Florida. It's going to be in the 80s. So we have a frozen chiropack here, and you stick these in the freezer so they condense into a solid, right? And then it's solid. So this thing is going to take about 24 to 48 hours to fully get back into a solid with normal temperatures. Of course, 80 degrees is going to make that happen a lot quicker, but to do that, we're not going to throw this directly in here because obviously the geckos are going to get pretty cold, right? Also, there could be condensation, so first we're just gonna wrap it in paper towel. Let me go ahead and do that for you real quick. I'm not gonna cut anything. I want you to see how long it takes me to ship every single box, and that's covered like this. This is going to get covered once again. This is only to insulate it and catch any condensation. This is paper towel. I did about, I think, 6 to 8 squares. You don't even need to use that much. Look at me killing trees. Some packing paper. I know, ASMR. If it gets too loud, I'll play some music in the background. But same thing like you did hot dog style. Or would this be hamburger style? It doesn't have to be perfect. Wow, we're messy. And then pretty much that's gonna go on the side. If you put it on the top, it's only gonna, it's gonna be on the top or the bottom. It's not as good as on the side. So if you have the space, you're able to fit some on the side, it's gonna be the best option for you. That's already good to go. We got the animals in here. This is going to my buddy Scott Bay of Miami Art Geckos. Check out that one. Check out this one. This one's really cool too. These ones are going to Miami, Florida. It's gonna be a little warm over there. Look at that little one. Impeccable animals. So they get a little bit of paper towel. It's pretty much one square folded into a square. If it's extra hot or I didn't give them anything to hydrate that day, I sprayed everything down today, so they got hydration. I'll put like a drop of water in here. So especially if they get delayed, they can drink some water out of there. But I have really good experience with this hub that I'm shipping to. So we're all good to go, but that's gonna get tossed around if I leave it like that. So we're gonna need to insulate some paper. Also note that I put holes right here and on this side. In summer, I'll do a little bit bigger, but I just use some tongs. You just apply a little bit of pressure and make sure you go through the styrofoam too. Even if you seal it up with the box and don't do any holes, it's still fine. They'll be able to breathe. But hot days, I'll go ahead and do those holes. Cold days, I wouldn't do that so much. Right now, we're just gonna stuff it. So see this spot right here? I wanna make sure that I can absorb any impact that may come from there. And you also wanna note that there's space right in here along this too. So I wanna kinda create a U. Maybe I'll rip one of these pieces in half. Let's see. I'm trying to make this entertaining. You guys are just watching a box. Something like that. Doesn't gotta be perfect. Tuck it down in there. The goal is to pretty much, if there's any impact, these animals stay put. The deli cups are small enough. These are 8 ounce that I use for all babies, pretty much, even to sub-adults. And it's a perfect size for them to be able to move around, still turn around, but not get banged around inside their deli cup. Oh my gosh, you guys put them in deli cups? Honestly, we've been doing this for a minute. It's the best way we found. Some people put packing peanuts, but packing peanuts get tossed around too much and you still get a lot of trauma. So go to your local U-Haul, pick up some of this paper. It's like 10 bucks for a whole box. This whole year I haven't gone through a whole box and I've shipped over 100 babies already this year. So kind of getting in. You want to make sure it's a little jam-packed. Not too much, because obviously too much pressure, you kick in the box and it doesn't have any give. That's a little bad, but this is fine. It's paper, it's condensable. So usually with our orders, we like to give you guys some stickers. This is going to one of my friends and he's gotten so many geckos from me this year. So we hooked him up with some Ramsey's Reptiles, some of our stickers, and then the little old coupons. Stuff like that. So Scott's all set up. I told him I'll give him some candy, so give me 2 seconds. So this is what I grabbed, but you can, those can catch a ride somewhere else. Banana Laffy Taffies. People that eat those are criminals. the lollipop might mess with it. Stuff like this. Sometimes if they order shirts and stuff like that, I'll go ahead and squeeze in a shirt into their box or use the shirt as pretty much packing. That's all you're gonna do, and you wanna make sure that when you tape it up, you're not blocking the holes on the side. And let me grab the tape gun. I only use Ship Your Reptiles right now. I think, or is it Reptiles to You? I think it's Reptiles to You. It's Debbie Price. So I'm gonna toss this on. I gotta toss on a label, but we're good to go. And that took me 6 minutes to explain while I was doing it. And this box is going to arrive in Florida by usually 9 in the morning, so it's ready for pickup. And Scott, we'll see if he does an unboxing video of this. Let's go ahead and get into our next box. I'm just gonna go ahead and time-lapse through that one because you guys already know what to do now. There's actually one more thing I would like to touch on. You saw that the last one was frozen. This one has been cooled down a little bit. This one is going to be going into temperatures in the low 40s and the high 60s. So this one is a little bit warm, but see, it's still almost a liquid form. It's just a little cold in the house. So this one's not gonna be frozen. It's also going to just make sure that there's no drastic changes with temperature drops. So that's gonna get bundled up the same way. A little less paper towel, 2 squares. And the next thing I wanted to talk about was that this box that I'm using, it's a used box. And that's fine. You just wanna make sure that the integrity of the box isn't affected at all and you're able to ship, because honestly some of this stuff we try to give you guys the best pricing, but right now it's costing me around $71 to ship overnight, anywhere past I think around Texas area. So it gets pretty pricey, and then that's not including the material costs. So the longer we can keep these boxes in good shape, the better, and save your chiropractic. All right, we're in the final leg of our journey. This one right here is going to be a Magma Tangerine Rainwater Albino. This is going to be from Berkeley, and look at the contrast on this one. This one's pretty funky. All right, Lucas, this is your box. Let's get a time lapse going for you.
Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Here I am logging on to reptilestoyou.com, and I'm going to be printing a few labels today. I'm just going to walk you through the process and show you how simple it is to really print a label, thanks to Reptiles to You and Debbie Price for all their hard work. Super simple. I have Scott's address saved. Kind of sped through that, but you guys saw me enter the dimensions, the weight, and here I went ahead and held for pickup. All my shipments are held at hubs. It limits the time that they're with FedEx on trucks, and it's the safest way to ship your reptiles, hub to hub. I've been shipping reptiles for over 10 years now, and believe me, we've come such a long way, and so have the prices. But it's such a breeze, and honestly, if you need help setting up your account, reach out to Debbie Price or myself. I'll gladly help you out. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. It was a really cool video, and I'm finally amped again to make this content for you guys. So let me know what you guys want to see. I'll take you guys through the racks. If you guys want a room tour, you guys maybe want to see Haru or Banana Pictonata, just let me know, whatever it is. Support US ARC. They're pretty much a band of lawyers fighting for your rights and my rights to keep these animals. Long term, this is very important. We need to back them whenever we can, because honestly, like, this is our future. Not only our future, if you want your kids to be able to enjoy this and their kids, we need to make sure that our laws and our rights are protected and we're able to enjoy all these animals. And a lot of the work that we're doing, not even here, but other people around the world, we're working to make sure that we preserve these animals, and especially threatened animals or endangered animals like the Umbronia that I keep. It's really important, and I know this video wasn't super exciting. I just wanted to get you all that information. I know I wasn't behind the camera as much, but it was just super fun to be able to get behind the camera again a little bit and thank you guys so much for supporting this. And this is a family. You guys are family, and I want to be able to talk to you guys a little more, and we'll get there, you know? I mean, this is the start of something really cool, I think. And I don't know, if you guys want some stickers, let's do some sticker swaps. If you guys have any art that you guys want to send into the Emporium, we're going to be throwing it up everywhere, and this is only the start. We're trying to get about an acre of land to be able to expand and do this. This is what I do for a living. It's so awesome.